I struggled with procrastination for a large part of my life, and it's because I identified as a procrastinator. I identified as the kind of person who procrastinates. And if that doesn't make any sense, I'm saying that I identified, so I saw myself as the person who would procrastinate. And so every time that my brain went into the automatic pilot mode, I would procrastinate just because that's what I saw myself as. It's because whenever I wasn't actively conscious of what I was doing at this very moment, I would like pull out my phone, pull up an iPad or something, and just start scrolling, for example, or I would distract myself with something else that wasn't actually what I planned on doing. And so I would distract myself, and obviously I would procrastinate because I wasn't doing what I said I would. And this happened so often that I honestly wondered that maybe I was just different. Maybe I was just the kind of person who does procrastinate. Maybe it's just out of my control. And that was the worst thought process that I could go on at that point because it led to me procrastinating even more. It's like the smoker who sees himself as a smoker, and so he just keeps smoking because that's just the type of person he is. I went through that spiral until I finally realized the error in my way. I finally realized that that is actually a problem. Because again, it's like the smoker. If you see yourself as a smoker, then you're not going to stop anytime soon. And it's the same with procrastination. I saw myself as a procrastinator. I was trying to give myself a name, like some kind of title. But in reality, it just led to me procrastinating so much that I had to stop it. I had to cut it at the root. And I had to realize that the name that I call myself, those things I identify with, lead to my behavior changing. And so, consciously, or honestly, more often than not, subconsciously, you might honestly think of yourself as a procrastinator. And not in the sense that, oh yeah, I procrastinate every once in a while. That's normal, that's healthy. If you see yourself as a procrastinator, I am a procrastinator, those 4 words, if you think of yourself that way, consciously or not, you're gonna procrastinate more. It's just a rule of life. If you see yourself as something, you're gonna do that thing. And it's because it puts you into that victim mindset. You're in the victim mindset where you can't help anything, you can't do anything because it's just procrastination's fault. It's not my fault I was born this way. Isn't that dumb? And sorry to be blunt, but it's dumb. Because if you can stop procrastinating, anyone else can. And if anyone else can stop procrastinating, you also can. You're not a special snowflake where you just procrastinate more just because you're born this way. And I'm being direct with you because I wish I could tell my younger self this. You're not a special snowflake. You're just making up an excuse, making up a title for yourself to feel cool, when in reality, you're actually just not doing anything. And so the best way to actually get rid of this is to just take the power back. It's to stop calling yourself by a title thinking that you're getting anywhere with it. You have to take the active choice to see yourself as a person who doesn't procrastinate, or I should say a person who every now and then procrastinates, because that's more realistic. But if you see yourself as just a procrastinator, period, then you're obviously going to procrastinate so much more than if you were a person who, oh yeah, I procrastinate every now and then. It's not really a big problem. What's the difference between these two people? The difference is that the person who acknowledges that he has a problem every now and then, but more often than not, he's actually in control. He has more power. He has more choice in the matter. He doesn't have to conform to procrastination because he actually has control. And if you haven't noticed, I've been talking about self-image this whole entire video. Your self-image determines what happens in your life. Your self-image determines your thoughts determine your actions, and your actions determine what you get out of life, right? So if you can change your self-image, you can change the actions that you do. If you can change your self-image, you'll start procrastinating less. And this is what I've been trying to go on this video, is that stop seeing yourself as a procrastinator. See yourself as a person who procrastinates rarely, if at all. Because if you do, even if you're lying to yourself, honestly, I had to lie to myself to get past it. I had to lie to myself until the lie became reality. It sounds really dumb and it sounds woo-woo, but I promise you that if you just honestly start lying to yourself that I don't procrastinate, even just that simple affirmation right there would help you so much more than identifying as a procrastinator. And I promise you that it's not wacko mode science. I promise you that this helped me. The almost lying to yourself, but eventually it becomes true because that's just how you see yourself. It works. I promise you it works so much. Even just that simple step of walking away from the label of a procrastinator will help you immensely. Because if you see yourself as a procrastinator, the only action that you could take in the end is to procrastinate.